So what's up, guys? Right now, I'm headed to a pop-up shop held by the Construction Kings. It's some mentors, some virtual mentors. They may not even know they're my mentors, but I've been to their pop-up shops many times, and I've even taken their builder's course. But today, I'm headed to their pop-up shop as they build a beautiful mansion. And I will be showing you guys what it looked like and who all may be there. I'm just going to the network, and maybe I can get a fresh perspective on how to build, how to fund a project, how to get land, and a few other things that I just may not know. I'm excited. Hey, y'all, let's do it. Let's just do it. I have to walk all the way down there. Walk on the side of the road. So I finally made it here, y'all. I'm gonna let you guys know what I learned, who I'm gonna meet, and let's see what's going on. Peace.
And did not bring construction shoes.
I did not bring construction shoes because I'm heading to the airport. So when I leave. How you doing? Let's say I'm boy Gordon. Nice Pleasure to meet you. All right, everyone. If we haven't, check the shore, put the cases outside, that way you guys get some air, circulate, so you can come out to the left in the backyard. It's a beautiful thing, y'all. Y'all see what's going on, Chet? How you doing? How you doing? You got it? Yeah, look at this. Just look at this. What? I just love seeing people win, man. What? Gene, KP, it's always a pleasure to learn from you guys. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
You do drywall, if you do electricity, if you do this, and I say, yeah, you have permission. And then just fill them out, like, do little things to see if they still, like, my floor down.
My thing is, do whatever you gotta do to get in the rooms. Make sure you get in the rooms. This is a beautiful thing. Make sure you get in those rooms.
They did still is that you're not worried about the money. The Gene that site.
It's a beautiful thing, y'all. What y'all think? I can't say this enough. Listen. Get in those rooms. Get in those rooms. Come out to these pop-up shops. You want to learn? You want to fast track everything? You scared because you don't know where to start? You scared because you got hiccups? Get in those rooms.
You know, he'll be, saying a few words to you guys. Great resource. We also have one of our lenders out here with RBI Capital. So if you're looking for funding, he's definitely a great resource for you guys. They have a lot of dope loan products for experienced investors and for new investors. So if you're looking to rehab, if you're looking to learn how to build from the ground up, and you're looking to network, this is definitely the place you want to be. And live construction site, so I want to make sure everybody stays safe. And we just network.
Again, good morning.
Good morning.
How many people is this their first time?
Welcome.
Definitely like to welcome you guys. How many is this their second or third event? That's my shirt saying, builder, we do helps you understand. understand it from a digestible standpoint. So if you got any questions pertaining to real estate, new construction, development, fire away.
He invested with me. Now he's learning how to kind of build, from the ground up as well. And and what your design is very important. Understanding who your end buyer is, what you're putting into this house is very, very important. So all those things are very, very important when you start to think about what you're trying to build, where you want to be.
Doing a partnership again with Builders Academy, it's so important that you're here, because the reality, education means everything, especially when you're done. I think Gene just highlighted, he's alluded to just understanding your deal. You have, $1 million homes that's near you, we're not going to lend you that capital. So it's very important that you understand as you're here, you understand the education behind as to what you're doing when you're building. Well, yeah, of course we are. And the reason why the science behind it is because we recycle our capital. There's secondary markets out there we sell our loans to. It's gotta be within their buy box. So I more leverage on some other different criteria too, right? Because the reality, there is risk when you are a first time developer. So that's one thing that kind of separates us from a lot of different lenders. And that's the reason why too, on the boots on the ground, because now I can be able to go to my team and say, hey, I got KP and I got Gene as your GC. They're going to feel comfortable with it because they want to ensure as you get through this deal, we can get out of this, right? Because that's how we continue to keep our business model flowing. So, if you got questions about capital, we can get into rates and leverage, on the one-off. But just know that education means everything. And if you have to understand that, that's one of the hard things with lenders, because there's so much risk in horizontal funding. Horizontal, to my streets, roads, utilities, and everything else. A lot of times you have your own capital and you create that value when you do it. And once you
it's going to be better. KP say this all the time. It's a reason why, specialties, especially when you think about the medical field, get more. Like a brain surgeon going to get more than a general doctor. So I specialize in stuff like this. That's my specialty. It's been my fastball. I can do some other stuff, but when you can specialize in something, you have a better chance at building a
which is some money, a lot of money into that. But once you kind of define your craft, you run with it, and now you scale that business. So that's what I've seen for the most successful guys who's in my book of business.
So we have a pretty good feel for who our end buyers want to be, but every market is different, man. It's on you to understand who you're servicing and what product you're bringing to that market. And then when you think about real estate as a whole, you always have to understand your exit strategy. And sometimes you may go in thinking you're going to sell it, but you may have to pivot on the back end to hold that property. Like, we've already considered holding this property already. That's why we're considering putting a pool in, because I know if we put a pool in, I can get an appraisal at $1 million, 1.1. We can refinance, take all our capital out, and I'm pretty confident I can rent this house for $1,200 to $1,500 a month. What we got in it. A night. I meant to say a night. $1,200 to $1,500 a night. So you gotta look at your exit strategy. And then I would say the sooner you guys can get to setting your mind on 6 months, we're gonna double and triple our money. Real estate don't work like that. No businesses work like that. So you gotta think of this as a business, and you gotta think of this as a long-term strategy for wealth, throughout Metro Atlanta. But if you have inventory when the market does go back up, then that may be a time to liquidate and sell and reposition your capital. But the market's always changing, and we never know what factors are going to change those markets.
You understand what it means? What does it mean to you?
Location means when you buy a piece of land, or when you're looking at a piece of land, you want to search the comps in the area. So whatever you're trying to build, or whatever that is, make sure your comp is matching.
They always say location, location, location. They're not talking about just the physical place where that home is sitting. They're talking about what's selling in that location, as you just mentioned. Who's buying in that location, as you just mentioned. And what's close to that location, as you just mentioned. As far as the amenities, the schools, the restaurants, the stores. These all play factors. So 6 acres in Riverdale can't compare to 1 acre in Brookhaven, right? Because of the type of amenities, the schools, etc. So understanding where you buying land at is the first step. Just because I inherited some land don't make it valuable. 100 acres in Tuskegee, Short, Alabama. That don't mean it's valuable because it's agriculture. So understanding what that location really means to the market, not just to you. These big corporations and see where they're building Publix, the stores, and look at where the Starbucks are popping up. They're not putting these locations in areas that they haven't done their research on, that they see growth in the future. So you can skip a lot of this by looking at those websites and understanding where these stores are opening up.
So understanding what's coming to that location before it gets there. You know, if you're in Metro Atlanta, you've been hearing about the Beltline for the last 20 years. You know, if you'd have bought in the West End 15 years ago, or Vine City 15 years ago, look where you'd be at. So understanding what those companies, like Kelly said, but also understanding that y'all got access to these resources, do this research.
What motivated you to choose this location, number one? And number two, what motivated you to come up with a after-built value?
I'll speak on it, and I'll let Gene elaborate on it. I remember walking this lot with Gene 3 years ago.
Dang.
Over 3 years ago, we walked this lot, and of course purchased it back then. But understanding, like, you're gonna have to create something like this in order to get your money out of it, because we watched what's going on. We understood the market. We can't just buy a piece of land and not have a plan, because that's how most people get stuck. Jerome, as a lender, he's told you straight up, I'm not doing no horizontal.
Okay.
Because, man, he waited for his house in Westview. He waited 9 months to get permits to do what he got to do. So imagine those payments.
Ask that question.
You can't do nothing to drive by.
Should I choose a lender to buy the
Can't
lot,
even
or should I come out of my
put
own
a
house
silk
and buy the
fence
lot?
up.
You just answered it.
So just understanding what you can do before you actually have to do it.
And for me, I 231 Darwish and McDonough. Like, when you know what your product is, and you can understand the demand for your product, transition. So I understand my product and I understand my end buyers. I also know, like, I don't even know if that Publix and Starbucks was there when I bought this lot. That wasn't there, so I knew that was coming. Look at some other, good things about it. It's in Westlake High School. You got Camp Creek Parkway there. You're not too far from downtown. You're 15, 20 minutes from the airport. So I understood a lot of the dynamics. Two, like, we're not copying other people. Like, I'm not trying to build what D.R. Horton's building. Like, I can shifts where we're able to, save on material costs on certain things to be able to.
All right, understanding what values are, the price per square foot is key, right? When we're usually looking in areas to build, we always look in areas where we can get at least $200 a square foot or more in the resale. So me knowing what I got in this lot, me knowing what the price per square foot is going for.
Am I going to do commercial or residential? All of those are things that you have to start the process out with. Now, we're looking at this house today, guys, that is, I would say, what, 40% of the way through, right? We're a little past the trailer stage, So, but this part is truly after the formation part starts. So many of you have to have the opportunity to build an organization that can put yourself in position to finance a venture that can get you to this stage. This is not the stage where you start. This is where you end up as a result of having those plans, those protected things in place in order to have your organization be financed to get to this position. Now, RBI is out here for the lending, and they'll tell you one of the things that are required, right? And this is a technicality. One of the things that are required to get financing as a business, as a company, is also need an operating agreement to go into joint ventures with other businesses. Right? The operating agreement is your birth certificate of your business. It tells the DNA of your business. It tells everybody that is introduced to your business, including the financiers, the lenders, vendors, who you're going to go into relationship with. It tells them how your company is scaled and structured. Who owns duties, who has authorities to sign, who has the ability to operate on behalf of the company, who they should be talking to, are they talking to the main players, Are you even involved in the business that you're presenting to them that you want to get financing for? All of these people, it doesn't start in the middle of the process, it starts at the beginning. So the whole entire reason they're having me out here to speak with you guys today is they want you to start out like they started out, which is of your business. You can't pick that up along the way and then hope to be successful at this process. You got to scale it, which means you got to put it in a process that's duplicatable, that's repeatable over and over and over again. I love helping people build their lives and be successful at it. And so what I did was, in order to, keep people from wasting money on an attorney right out front, I wrote a book. How many people got 20 bucks in their bank accounts?
20 what?
Instead of
20 who?
20 bucks, $20, $20, right? So what it costs you to sit down with me for an hour is $375, okay? And that's a good price in Atlanta, because in Miami I get $450, okay? But what it will cost you for the information that you're going to get from sitting down with me in an initial consultation, you can get it in a $20 book on Amazon. The book is called N-Formation, N-Formation. My name is JJ Poole as the author. And what this does is it talks about this entire process we're having a conversation about right now, from start to finish. Then you can sit down and say, this is where I want. But that doesn't mean I know anything about how to support a builder, right? That they understand and that they have some sort of experience in the area in which you're seeking to be in business. That's number one, right? Number two, they don't have to have extensive knowledge. They don't have to know where the nails go in order to be a good support, but they do need to know where the documents are supposed to go, right? So understanding contracts, critically important. A lot of you guys are so addicted now to ChatGPT and AI, and you're out here putting these information into a computer system, and you're looking for them to, and this is something I talk about in the book as well. You're putting it in AI, looking to get out a comprehensive document that has no idea how you specifically move. And you say to yourself, it sounds good, but I just stood in court last week, called an LLC, right? Is the most popular entity that people use. But some people want to build businesses that have investors. They want to go as grandma, auntie, cousin. Y'all listen, I'm gonna build a real estate empire, and the people that they're asking to invest in their business want a piece of that business. In those instances, LLCs are not the best formation structure for those businesses. Corporations are, right? Where you can have stock distributions that give people the opportunity to invest in your business or company, right? That's different than just signing up with an LLC. Also, you have to consider the tax consequences of the business, right? What am I going to pay taxes as? Is it just me? Because if I'm an LLC and I'm paying taxes as an individual, that's a sole corporation. That's a S corp, right? From a tax standpoint, even though it's an LLC, from a legal standpoint, what is it different? One has a different legal protection. The other has a different financial protection. But you have to individually sort this out. For example, you don't go into Saks.
Be able to support you guys. So we have a coaching program. We have a lot of stuff.
You guys came to this event. Of course, it was a free event. We do this monthly. But I get emotional looking at these guys that came from a thought that Jen and I had a few years ago. Because I'm looking at these. This is a dad and his two sons. This is a school teacher. I know that right. Playing professional ball. We got Abraham, Tyrone. It's over $1 million in profit right here. People looking at y'all, they look at Jen and I, like, man, you guys been doing this so long. I just want to get on their level. But then they see y'all, y'all been doing this a couple months. not even full year yet. What you leave somebody is what you teach them before you leave. Generational wealth is not what you leave someone. It's what you teach them before you leave. Because, you know, we can leave somebody $1 million, but if they don't know what to do with it, we ain't left them nothing. They can go buy some debt, manufacture some stress. They can just do stuff they ain't got no business doing with it. But if you, we create generational wealth every month, every Tuesday, every Thursday in our program. 8. I always gonna say the real is 8. So understand that. You real in this game, you always eat. I ain't no rapper,
I got a question. I signed up on you guys' boot camp. What's the difference between the boot camp and the coaching? Like, how long is it? What is all in? Well, you don't got to go through the intel.
It varies. I mean, the coaching, like, we got a 3-day challenge.
Jobs, but I don't know if it's gonna be in my lifetime. So there's a lack of contractors. So yeah, and I know what I pay my, my sheetrock guys. I know what I pay my plumber, my framers. So it's a lot of money in that space. For sure.
And to answer your question again, to elaborate, to build on your question, G has 4 daughters. I have 1. They may not look at the vocational side, right? Because of course those trades are more dominated by men than females. But from the corporate level, the women in our program, not to say anything bad about you fellas, the women in our program killing the guys, man. I'm surprised they don't realize it. But they working right now. That's why they ain't out here with us. They killing it, man. Like it's more attention to detail. They think about stuff ahead of time. And I say this in front of women. And I don't care, y'all guys can hate me, man. We suck at we suck at that process because as a man, I always say this: we finance houses, women purchase houses. Single man will live in an apartment till he's dead. A woman gonna want the house.
I did my job.
Yeah,